Greetings everyone, a very warm welcome to you. My name is Nick and we're looking at a system we haven't looked at for a little while. It's the Atari 2600 and we're going to be revisiting a game we looked at before, but this one's called Enduro. Previously I looked at it on a web-based app playing it, and I'm not sure it was 100% true to form the original software, so we're going to have another look, and we might look at another few others in the following weeks. But this was published by Activision in 1984, designed by Larry Miller. Game also came out on the ZX Spectrum, although it wasn't quite as good. Essentially you control this Formula 1 type of car in an endurance race, and you must pass a certain number of cars to progress on to the next day. Now you see the amount of cars we have got to pass in that display below there, and our trackometer, so we need to pass another, well, quite a few actually. There's different terrains, although the car behaves a little bit similar each one. Different coloured cars, which would please me as a kid. So yeah, let's see how far we can get onto this one. Now, great sounds, super retro, 1984 by Activision. Crashing into the other cars won't kill you, but it will cost you a bit of time. And this is 8-bit retro fantasticness. If I had this back in the day as a kid, I would have played it for quite some time. It's not overlaps, it's just a sprawling course that goes on forever and ever and ever. Now, that's that. So we're into a snow stage, not very sussily, but into a snow stage, which would have delighted me as a kid. As I say, one of those games you could play on a Sunday or a Saturday or any day really, for ages. You don't have to think too much. Crashing into the other cars costs you some time, but no damage. You can accelerate and decelerate there and try and avoid bashing into as many things as you can. No track obstacles to avoid apart from the cars themselves. When you start running out of time, a beeping will sort of like appear, and you might have to get your skates on. You can get a bit cautious in this one, so don't hold back. There is a night scene as well, which hopefully I get to, and also fog. In the night scene you can only see the brake lights. This is a wonderful game. It hasn't aged too well, but if you've been alive back in the era I had some knowledge of this, you're going to get a nice warm buzz out of this, and the different terrains. I don't know what terrain this is. I suppose it's like dawn, is it? Maybe, or just, I don't know, sunset, and the next one will be night time. We keep going. It's an enduro race, goes on forever and ever and ever. So time permitting, we will occasionally look at an Atari 2600 game. There we go. Right, pink brake lights and red brake lights. If you've got a car, what colour brake lights have you got? Pink or red? If you've got the red type, I don't know what's up with you. Pink is the one that's in style. Atari 2600, it's an 8-bit system, although it looks lower. It's got a good colour palette. And it's back in the time where computers were made out of wood. Brilliant stuff. Although this is 1984, the Atari 2600 did come out before the ZX Spectrum, or it's all gone a bit foggy. So it's just beyond, I'm not quite old enough to have actually owned one, although I did have a friend that did, and I'm getting a warm buzz from it as well. Good stuff. It doesn't feel like any of the other 8-bit systems that I knew, like the Commodore 64 and indeed the Spectrum, which I owned. Didn't know anyone that owned an Amstrad CPC. I'm sure there was, well, a lot of them out there, and the Sega Master System as well. But this has a completely different feel to it. Someone once said to me, is this a 4-bit system? No, it's 8-bit. There we go. Right, so night time, there's a bit of beeping going on, so I need to accelerate here. We've got 30 cars to get past. I don't think we're going to do this, are we? 29 now, they come back across. I've been being too cautious as I try and talk my way through it. Now, did you own this one back in the day? Let me know what your experiences of it were. What was the longest go you ever had? Or is it the first time you've seen it? Well worth tracking down if you've got emulation or the real system. In terms of racing games go, I've done it. In terms of racing games go, I think already this one's held in quite high regard as one of the best ones. I will come to pole position as well. As I say, there is an Atari 2600 playlist. We've looked at a few games, though I don't think they're playing 100% to how the Atari 2600 ran. They might be very similar. I didn't know at the time because I didn't own the system, but now we're on much stronger ground. And it is good to look at these older ones. I think some of the games might be dated to the 70s, in particular Space Invaders as well. Parents could leave a kid in front of this in the morning, and they could probably happily play it, as I say, well, weeks. It's lazy parenting. So blue cars, yellow cars, sort of like orangey sort of like cars. I'm not quite sure what the total colour palette of the Atari 2600 was. If you know, let me know below as we go into this snow scene again. Doesn't affect the handling of the car at all as far as I'm aware. Speed it, Nicky. It's one of those games where you play it, there's not too much to it, and you say, why am I enjoying this too much? Now, whether someone a lot younger than me, say maybe in their 20s, would get the same buzz that I'm getting, I'm not sure. It's because if you're a similar age to me, maybe in your 40s and beyond, we've sort of like, or maybe late 30s as well, let's include there. You've maybe, we've lived through as like a technological era, which has got us from this point in time to now, well, your PS5. It's never going to, virtual reality, it's never going to be that huge degree again. Some kids might think this dates back to the 1920s, maybe. It's just remarkable how far things have come, and this is still great fun. As I say, it's blocky graphics for sure, but a kid's imagination could take you a long way. I'm not sure if these sounds are familiar or similar to a Formula 1 car or something like that, but I'm loving them just the same. The Atari 2600 could certainly kick out some sounds that you wouldn't see anywhere else. Hooray! It's great stuff as I take this corner. So it's bends and straights, it isn't just straight the whole time. There is no undulation. The camera's pulled back far away in this chase view game to make it doable. I'm turboing along here. Oh, I see. That's the problem. You go too quick. The road's supposed to be straight along here, but it does get a little bit of a ripple effect every now and again. I suppose the animation, but it's a good amount of frames. It moves real fast. The car doesn't go up or down the screen, but that doesn't affect you at all. And I do like the ambition of creating this fog stage, which before I only sort of like knew. Didn't know for any Spectrum games. I only sort of like experienced this in Lotus 2 on the Commodore Amiga, which was to come a long time later as we go past these pink lights again. If it's the Spectrum, they'll be magenta lights, but I think we can call these ones pink. You're always in the same car, there's no option to change the car at all, but that's not necessary. It's debated whether it looks like a car or a cotton reel, but you know, these are different times. These are different times. We won't be playing this for 16 days as we go into another night. So essentially you've got it, haven't you, as it starts beeping again. Pass enough cars each day to progress on to the next day. And I don't think we're going to pass enough here. I've been poodling along like a Sunday driver. Yeah. Past the green, past the blue, past the orange, past the yellow, past the blue again. So we're like predicting what colour car's going to come next. But there's a lot of cars on track at the same time, so you can't be too cavalier about it. You've got to plot your path through. Is it going to get to green again? No. I think that's it. We didn't pass enough cars. Oh. So you can see the day gradually changing, can't you? And the shifting of the light and then the snow. I think we'll have one last go on this one, I think. But you've seen all the gameplay there is to offer. You know whether you want to track it down or got a nostalgia buzz there. But good bit of racing. Away we go again. The road is green, the sides are green, everything is green. It's about time things went green, so this was ahead of its time. Oops, crashed into the back of there. I was trying to do a bit of show-offy work. The mountains in the background do repeat themselves, but scrolls around nice and smooth. Lovely and smooth. Do check out my review of this on the ZX Spectrum, which you did quite a while ago. I thought it was going to be equivalent to this. Obviously the sounds weren't going to be as deep and resonant as this, but I don't think it's really that good. You might disagree, you might think it's a corker. Normally when you think of the word Enduro on the ZX Spectrum, you think of something else called Enduro Racer, which is quite a mighty biking game, which is held in quite high regard, along with Super Hang-On. Super Hang-On! There's a lot of good racing games out there, isn't there, really? Yeah. Oops, gone to the snow again. So you might prefer pole position to this one. Let me know what's your favourite one. This might be the first time you've watched the channel, because as I say, we don't tend to review Atari 2600, but that might change, time permitting, and also, well, it's depending on how popular the video is really going forward. Hooray! So, there we go, let's go round him, round those two, round him. I get around, round. Right, I sometimes go into singing reverie as well. This channel is all about ease and stress, my own, yours, anyone there. And we come together and talk about the games of yesteryear. You might have a bit more information about the game that I don't know. Like you might have some crazy facts about the designer Larry Miller that I do not know. There we go. speeding around, but hopefully I'm bringing it to you. Right, it's getting into a dusk now. The sun is starting to set. If you're a 24-hour Le Mans driver, you probably think this is quite accurate and you think maybe is this TV footage or a simulator. Well, it's not TV footage. It's 8-bit gaming from the year 1984, although it maybe looks a little bit earlier. But anyway, it moves quite fast, and there's lots of cars on the screen at the same time, and it's quite a basic premise, and it's quite fair. Not a nice crunch sound. It's nice. It's quite fair on the gameplay as well, so a newbie can pick this up. There's just left, right, accelerate and decelerate really, and that is essentially the whole thing. Electric eyes as we pass them. Our car is much quicker than anyone else's. I don't know why they're going so slow. Maybe we should have started a bit further up. It's foggy. It's foggy. What's the difference between Mog and Fist? No, I mixed up my words there. Fog and mist, that was it. What's the difference between those two? I think mist is like heat, isn't it? Rising or from the sea. 26 cars. Look at the timer down the bottom there to see how far I'm getting. 22, 21, 20. I think we got this covered. It's almost on to the next day. Never need to pit stop or refuel on this. As I say, the car never takes any damage, which is just as well. I'm making a bit of a meal of this last bit. 12. I might have to accelerate a bit or we're not going to do it. 7 cars. Oh, Nicky's messing up here. I was right near the end there as well. It's not going to beat forever. Was that a Bond film? Oh, I only had one left then. But 4, 3. We're on the straight. I think, yeah. I've blown up my chances. 3 cars. He's done it. Beat me. It was never in doubt, was it there? So I think we'll leave that there. I really like that game. It's really enjoyable. One could say it hasn't aged pretty well, but it holds all the nostalgia in leaps and bounds, and I think this game is fantastic. So hope you like to have a look at that one. That was Enduro on the Atari 2600, published by Activision in 1984 and designed by Larry Miller. Got any comments about this game, similar games, or anything retro, then please put that below. You're always more than welcome. Until next time, take great care of yourself and a very fond goodbye.
Goodbye.